This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stockbox interview. Andrew Bell, the departing chairman of Power Metal Resources, joins me today on Stockbox. Andrew, so there's some news come out where you will actually be resigning as chairman of Power Metal Resources, and just having a chat today as to get your thoughts, really get some rationale behind the move. What can you tell us?
Well, I've done this sort of thing more often than people realise. In the case of just fairly recently with Breakland, if you take the beginning of 2016, it was a £600,000 company. I didn't have any shares. I built up a share position. I invited Paul to join me. We then arranged for money to come into the company, new management to strengthen it, and that was February. By June 2016, the price was up 5.5 times. There were good assets then coming in, and neither Paul nor I were planning to be part of the permanent long-term management of Breakland. So having done our bit, having rescued the company, set it up for success, with a lot of confidence in it, we both stepped down. In this case, we did the same thing with Power Metal Resources under its old name. We rescued it. It had actually been suspended on AIM. We brought in new money. We turned it around. For the first part of POW's existence, I was talking to Paul every single day, and because there was only us to start with. And now there's a team of people working with Paul down in Farnborough. There's a lot of new projects. I'm much less involved than I was, and I'm not planning to be part of the full-time, long-term, management of POW, because I have my responsibilities at Red Rock Resources, which participated in that rescue. Paul, however, is the chief executive and is devoting himself full-time to Power Metals. I persuaded him to do that. I thought he'd be great at it, and it's really worked out. So he's staying on. I'm stepping down at this stage. And there's a really good logical reason why this happens now, which is that our Australian joint venture, Red Rock Australasia, is just being put into New Ballarat Gold Corporation, the new UK PLC, in preparation for listing. So it's going to get listed. It will have a partly Australian board of directors. I'm going to be essential in the transitional phase as a director, helping it bed in as a listed company on AIM, as we've done in the past. And it would have been too difficult, too incestuous for me to be chairman of Red Rock, chairman of Power Metal Resources. Red Rock having shares in Power Metal left over from the rescue, and then the two companies having a joint venture, which then got listed, and I was a director of that too. So the logical thing is, as I take up responsibilities at Red Rock Australasia, or New Ballarat Gold Corporation, on behalf of both companies, I step back at Power Metal Resources. Yes, I'm continuing consultancy, but I'm no longer part of the line management there. And that doesn't mean that I don't have confidence in Power Metal Resources. Exactly the opposite. It means that I think it's really set for success.
Okay, so you'll continue to work with New Ballarat then in Australia when that lists. Will that be one of your key focuses going forward?
Yes, because I think this is going to be an important investment, important part of the portfolio of both Red Rock and of Power Metal Resources. And Paul will, from the Power Metal side, take an interest in it, and I will be taking an interest in it from the Red Rock side and pushing it.
Let me just get some final thoughts from you, Andrew. You, of course, have been involved with Power Metal Resources from the start when it was changed with Paul Johnson. You've been on that journey.
Yep.
You've seen the company refinance and reshape itself, really. How has that journey been, first of all, to see that happen? And how well do you think Power Metal Resources is set up for the future?
Well, it's been great. And my mind goes back to other situations where I've done the same thing, not just in this country, but in several companies in Australia. The best known, perhaps, was Jupiter, which was in royal trouble when we got involved. I got involved and Red Rock got involved and we took a shareholding. We persuaded Pallinghurst and Brian Gilbertson to get involved. Then we persuaded them to put their South African asset into it. It grew to be an over $1 billion Australian company and one that paid fantastic dividends. And it's just floated out its iron ore asset. But for the first few years, it wasn't obvious to people what was happening there. We knew, but it took time to develop that story. And so the rescue turned from sort of ugly duckling into a swan. The same thing, I think, has happened with Greatland. And Power Metal Resources is at the early stages. It's got a number of projects which require drilling and exploration, and it's reaching the stage where it is now not going to be adding more and more and more projects. It's going to be investing in the exploration and drilling of the projects it already has. So from this, there's quite a few horses at the start line in Power Metal Resources. Over time, 2 or 3 of them will go ahead and start to look like the potential winners of the race. And eventually there'll probably be one project that makes the company. But it's got a few good horses running in that race, and I have every confidence. It's been a very exciting journey the last 2.5 years. And of course, it's not over yet. It's beginning. So I'm leaving Power Metal Resources in really good hands, but continuing to look after and promote some of the interests it has, not least, of course, this Australian listing.
Okay, well, Andrew Bell, the departing chairman of Power Metal Resources, thank you very much for your time today, coming on and giving us some thoughts as you are leaving as chairman of Power Metal Resources, and best of luck in your other endeavours.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this Stockbox interview. For more information, interviews and videos, visit our website at stockboxmedia.com or give us a follow on Twitter by searching @StockboxMedia.